Hi, I'm Becca.
Hi, I'm Emma.
And this is
Life in Quarters.
As an influencer, I get sent books sometimes.
I just love that lead in. That was great.
Yeah.
That was everything to me.
As an influencer, I get books sometimes. My manager will message me and be like, hey, are you interested in this book? And I'm always like, hell yeah, dude. Send me the book. Give it to me. And then every time I get the book, it comes with a little brief that says, like, hey, if you read this book and you want to post a little review of it, go ahead and do that. And, you know, I just almost never do because nothing, like, really tickles my fancy enough for me to be motivated in that way. But this book, this book that I recently received and am taking very seriously, I'm obsessed with it, okay? It's called How Great Ideas Happen, The Hidden Steps Behind Breakthrough Success, and it's by George Newman. I didn't really know what to expect with this one. I mean, I assumed it was going to teach me how great ideas happen, obviously, but, like, I don't know. I started reading it, and it immediately felt similarly to when I read Big Magic for the first time, and I was like, oh, this is going to have an impact on my psyche. I can feel it.
I love that feeling.
I can feel it. And then imagine my surprise when each chapter, at least the first 3 chapters, because that's how far I am right now. I'm taking it slow. If a book is teaching you something, take it slow. Learn the things. Don't rush through. But imagine my surprise when I found that there are exercises in here that he lists for us to do. He's like, you can do these things to, like, help trigger creativity, to, like, help get the thoughts flowing. I was like, oh my God, I love a good interactive activity. And one of them, it's exercise 2 in chapter 1. So I'm not spoiling anything. We're skipping exercise 1, which is identifying your passions. And it's just like teaching you how to identify your passions. We already have passions.
We did. We identified them last season.
Yes, exactly. So exercise 2 is called a conversation about your passions. And who better to have a conversation about passions with than you?
And right? You.
I'm so excited. Yeah. So there are 16 questions for this. So buckle in, okay?
I'm stoked. I've been very excited ever since you told me about this. And, like, very sad because, like, you got sick right after you told me about it. But I was very excited. And, like, it reminded me of when we would do the IQ tests and the personality quizzes on the floor in Barnes & Noble. Like, this is one that I feel like we would do.
Yes.
So I've been, like, very excited for, like...
a favorite.
Yes, like a semi-long-winded dive into whatever this book is going to ask. Because I have intentionally withheld looking at it until this conversation.
I remember reading this, and when I read a book that teaches me something, I really like to take it slow, and I really like to, like, do my best to absorb and implement the information in each chapter. So I remember messaging you and be like, hey, there's an exercise in chapter 1. Can we do it? And you were like, yeah, I'm so excited. And I was like, right. Does tomorrow work for you? I was like,
you were so excited.
I was like, so when can we talk about exercise number 2? I was thrilled. And for a moment, I was like, God, I can't move on to chapter 2 until I do exercise 2. And then I went, you know what? Yes, I can. Let's be reasonable.
I fall into the same trap with books often, so I get it.
All right. Are we ready to go in? Is there any questions you have before we go in?
No, I feel like
any statements?
No, I'm stoked. That's my statement. I'm stoked.
All right.
For this experience.
Incredible. All right. Question number 1. If you could... Oh, wait. You know what? I'm going to do the description because nobody else can see this book except for me right now.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
All right. Let me read the little description. Hey, calm down. It'll be quick. Conversations with others can provide a valuable window into our underlying interests and motivations. This exercise is designed to help you uncover what excites and drives you creatively. Inspired by psychologist Arthur Aaron's famous set of questions that build connection through increasing self-disclosure, these prompts guide you through a similar exercise. Only this time, the focus is on your creative passions. With a trusted partner, take turns asking each other the questions below. There's no need to rush, take your time, reflect, and enjoy the back and forth. Some questions are light and fun, while others dig a little deeper, so go with whatever feels natural. You might just surprise yourself with what you discover.
I'm so excited.
I ate that up.
You did? You read that?
I ate up that little reading. Okay, now first question.
Okay.
If you could collaborate on a creative project with anyone, living or dead, who would it be?
Since you're asking me this one first, then I'll ask you the second one first, is what I realized. Otherwise, you're going to get to answer second for all of them, and I don't feel like that's fair to you.
All right. Fair enough. I have sent Emma pictures of the questions so that we can do a back and forth.
Yeah. I feel like right now I'm really like hyper fixated on the new Frankenstein and wanting to work with Guillermo del Toro because I feel like he has such an excellent way of capturing fantasy and whimsy as well as gore and like really painful truths about humanity. And like every time I watch that movie, I just get so inspired, and it makes me feel like the way I did when I first realized I wanted to be an actor. So him, and then just like actors in general. I'd love to work with like all of the great actors. I'd like that one I can't even narrow down whatsoever. Like, I mean, of course I'd love to like collaborate and work with Meryl Streep, obviously, and like a million other people, but I'll laser in on poetry to narrow it down a little bit.
Heath Ledger.
Yeah, that one is interesting. I don't know if I'd want to collaborate with Heath Ledger. I think that's a little bit of the don't meet your heroes situation. It's like I don't know if he could live up to what he's done for me. Like he is not like a person in the way he's impacted me, similar to how One Direction and like them, I'm like, you just can't compete with being like 10 years of someone's life or being someone's inspiration for like finding their passion in life. Like as a human, you are just a human. You can't live up to that. So I feel like it's like smaller scales. Like I think I'd love to, you know who I'd love to collaborate with is Donald Justice, actually. So very much. Sorry, clapping for the mic. Donald Justice is my favorite poet. I have his poetry book in duplicate. I've got one I've annotated to hell and high water, and I've got one that's totally clean. And like my poetry is like steeped in the inspiration of his poems. Like I think like, I love the way he plays with rhythm. I love the way he finds poems. One of my favorite poems of all time is a found poem that he wrote that's like a commentary of like the violence of the Vietnam War and how it affects children and how it affects like the innocence of youth. That like a found poem is basically like when you take something from something else and turn it into a poem, and you can keep it verbatim or you can change it slightly. And he literally took the instructions off of a toy Jeep box and just like changed the way that it was fragmented to represent that. And I think I love to know how poets' brains work. So like that, Emily Dickinson, Donald Justice, like I'd like to talk to E.E. Cummings about one specific poem, because I have had many an argument about that specific poem and have written a couplet to it myself. But yeah, I think I'd like to also work with like Christopher Nolan, because I feel like at that point, like at this point, it's like following me, like being inspired to like become an actor because of The Dark Knight, which was directed by Christopher Nolan, and then getting my SAG voucher because of Oppenheimer, which again is Christopher Nolan. I feel like that's just a full circle thing that has to kind of happen. I feel like that is where I'm at right now. That question is tough for me because it's ever changing, and like I really enjoy like collaborating with my friends and my peers and you know what I mean? I think that's where it's like very joyful. I don't know too, I'd like to be in a writer's room with all of my siblings. That too, I think would be really fun, because like luckily like my older sister and my younger brother are both writers, and then I also think like my youngest brother is very artistic as well, and so I think like his comedic timing is really great, and I think like I'd love to collaborate with them on like writing a TV show. Like that is another really big one of my wants.
You know, in this book they talk about how it's important to have people to look up to, and they do say like if you have the opportunity to interview a hero, like absolutely do it, but also read up on them and then have questions and then like have answers for those questions on behalf of that person that you just did a bunch of research on.
Yeah.
And I literally just read that part, so like maybe I'm a liar, maybe the book doesn't say that, but I'm pretty sure it does. And so like that, I like that you had a mix of actively like being like, oh, I would love to act with these people, I would love to act under the direction of these people, and I would also love to just interview these other people. Like I think that's an excellent mix of a variety of collaboration that you've laid out. And my answer for collaboration is, I don't know. I like don't have. I don't know. I don't got anyone actually, for real.
Collaboration's a tough like phrase, because I feel like there are people that like you look up to. I feel like Catherine Ryan. Like I feel like podcasting. Like I feel like that's been such an inspiration, and like she's so integral to like.
Yeah, but I wouldn't want to work with Catherine.
I know that's
Ryan.
The hard thing is like that's the way I feel about Heath Ledger. Like not in exactly
she's
the
so
same
niche.
frame.
I'm like, I don't know what we would talk about. I don't know.
Would
and then
you
I even want to throw Caleb Hammer out there because he does the whole financial audit thing. But I'm also like, I don't know. I don't really want you up in my business like that. Even though, like, I already tell the internet all my business, so it's like a weird duality. But, like, I know that Caleb Hammer, he's described as, like, the millennial Dave Ramsey. And Dave Ramsey, I have such an approach to different things of being like, take what works for you, leave the rest. Like, maybe 5% of what is said, like, can benefit me. I'll just take that 5% and brush off the rest. You know what? Actually, in the financial space, I think Nicole Lapin is probably one of, like, my favorite people. Like, her book, Rich Bitch, is the first actual, like, personal finance instructional type book that I ever was exposed to and absorbed and listened to and enjoyed. Like, I listened to the audiobook on my way to work.
Yeah.
Like, when I got my first ever big girl job. And I think she's one of the OG personal finance people. I don't know. I think maybe her. I think
I like that.
If I had to choose, she would make the most sense for me. But other than her,
I think it's tough because we're already collaborating, you and I. Because I also would have listed like you. So I think like that's kind of what's tough is like, I guess like it still counts like if we want to collaborate with each other, even though we are actively collaborating with each other.
And I guess content creation, like with content creation, a lot of the people that I'd be like, oh my God, I would love to collaborate with them. Like we're friends on the internet. Like, we could collab, like, if we wanted to, you know, like, it's way more accessible. It's not me being like, let me call up my friend Christopher Nolan. Is that his name?
Christopher Nolan, yeah, your friend.
Incredible. I nailed it. Yeah, let me just call him, let me just slide into his DMs.
Hey,
be like,
Chris.
you interested in a collab?
How's it going, Chris? How's the Odyssey going?
So yours is... I feel like yours are like way more traditional in the sense of like, a dream collaborative project.
I think,
I'm like my girl Mackenzie, like, you know what I mean? Like,
I think that comes with the territory. I think that's an easier question to answer if like you're a musician or a painter or like an actor in like the traditional sense. Because it's like these, of course, are the people that have shaped the way that you view creativity. Like, of course, we all kind of have that list. I think that's actually why I leaned more into the poetry because I was like, I mean, actors, of course, we want to collaborate with everybody all the time.
I mean, it makes sense though, because like if you're acting, it's not like, oh, you know what? Usually I do one-woman movies, and I feel like it'd be so hard to even imagine. Like
yeah, like everything is a collaboration as an actor. Like that's the fun bit.
It's just natural.
Yes, so, I agree.
All right, I think that was good for question 1.
Yes. Okay, let's see. What kind of creative work or activity makes you lose track of time?
I think anything related to content creation. It's like one of my favorite things, whether I'm brainstorming or scripting or filming or editing. I don't know if I lose track of time. I think whenever I'm doing those things, I'm just like, where'd the time go? I had a whole day and now my day's gone.
Yeah.
So, does that count?
Yeah, I think that's absolutely what the question
track of time
is asking. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you're being too literal about the question.
Then that's it. You know, I think that the whole lose track of time part is a little bit lost on me because a lot of my time is spent trying to pass the time.
Yes, and you're so good at time blocking. I feel like you don't lose track of time. Like time is always, that's why I was like, that's for you, that's a very literal concept. Yes. I think absolutely you reframing it to what makes time move faster. Like where has the time gone? Like that's an accurate reframe for you. But I don't think it's just content creation for you. I was going to say journaling. I feel like journaling when you're like doing your pictures and stuff, or like, I feel like that's another form of creativity where like you do lose track of time.
Yes and no. I write down timestamps.
I think you're taking it too literally.
I'm really acutely aware of time. I really am. I'm just really tuned in.
You are.
I'm really locked in to how many minutes I have in a day.
You time block like with the best of them.
It's my lifeline. It is.
You love it.
I remember when I got so obsessed with time trading. I don't know if anyone's heard about that concept of like time trading of like, oh, you're going to do this thing and you save minutes and then you put these minutes towards something else. That almost ruined my life. I got too into it.
You did. You were like, boom, you got sucked into a rabbit hole with that one.
I was like, I'm so stressed. Every minute I use is being used and then I can't use it anymore. And the opportunity cost is crushing. It was awful.
No.
Anyways.
For me, absolutely the first thing that comes to mind is poetry. Like, I think that's because it's so similar to the idea in Big Magic when like you're chasing the idea, like you're trying to catch the idea. I think with poetry that's so true for me, and it's one of the few things where it does not matter what I'm doing. If a poem shows up, like that's the thing I'm doing. Like I have spent entire like classes writing a poem, rereading a poem. Like if I have time, when I used to work an office job and I would be able to sit at a desk, like I'd lose so much time. Poems for me feel like they happen really quickly, but I absolutely know that like 2 hours have passed when I'm finished like writing, rereading, structuring, stewing on a poem. I also lose track of time when I'm creating a character backstory. Like once I get into the zone, like it's the hard thing with the ADHD is like even the things I like to do, it's hard to get started on. Like if I'm like, I have to focus on this thing, like then I'm like, this thing is the last thing I want to do, even if it's the thing I love the most. But yeah, I think for acting, no, you know what? A better one is when I'm annotating a script. Like really like the backstory is the foundation. Like that is fun and that is the work I still have to do though. But like losing track of time for me is really like if I have a script and I'm going through it over and over again and I'm like, oh, I found this new piece. Oh, I found this new piece. Oh, that so informs how the character moves that way. Like thinking of the thoughts the character is thinking of and creating, like finding the new pathways, excavating like what is given in the text of a character. And I think that makes sense actually, because I think like that is the poetic aspect of acting, that like I never feel like I'm inventing anything with my art. I always feel like I'm discovering. So once I like get into that pocket with poetry or acting where I'm like, I found like I've got the right tools and I'm digging and I've set up the foundations properly, like yeah, I really lose track of time when I feel like with poetry or acting like I'm solving a puzzle. Like that, those are the two creative aspects where like I have no sense of time. I'm like, I will be late. I have to finish this. I don't care if the shift is starting in 5 minutes. I must finish this thing. Otherwise, I'm like so upset about it. And then maybe sometimes singing. I think like that is a real dependent on the mood thing. But no, I can definitely like, I could spend 3 hours. Like I should be cleaning my room kind of thing. I turn on a good playlist and then I'm like actively like practicing my breath work and like acting out the emotional moments in songs. And yeah, I think that.
You know, I wonder if this question is a little bit biased against both of us, because I feel like we are on two opposite sides of this spectrum specifically,
Yes.
where I am constantly locked into the minute that is happening for that day, and you are constantly forgetting about the minute that you are in. Like, you have to work really, really hard
Yes.
to remember that there's a timeline.
Well, what I was going to say, and I was thinking about it the whole time you were answering the question, because you and my mom are so very similar. The fact that all three of us have ADHD. People cope with time blindness in different ways. And you are time blind, so you're really honed in, because if you let go of that minute, it's an out of control kind of thing. And I am time blind, and I've just accepted that I don't know how time moves. I think like I'm like, it's going to move how it's going to move, quite frankly.
You know what? I think that in the more abstract sense of, oh my gosh, I just lost the time.
Yeah.
Where did the time go? I think that the one thing that falls into that category in the most pure sense of like, oh, more time has passed than I thought, and also like I'm really having a good time type of thing, is baton twirling for me.
That's a great answer. No, I really like that. That makes
I think
perfect
that's
sense.
the one.
Yeah. That makes perfect sense.
And I'm not
to
sitting
me.
at a desk, and I'm not writing in a journal, and I'm not right up on my phone. So the time is not right in front of my eyeballs.
Yeah. No, I like that. I also think that makes perfect sense because, again, it's like physically like finding something and solving something. I feel like it takes so much focus. You can't be thinking about time at the same time.
100%. I always like forget to include baton twirling in like one of my creative things that I enjoy. Because just for so long, it was essentially my job. So
yeah, that's so valid. Next question.
Ooh, all right. Yes, next question, number 3. This one's fun.
Okay.
Describe your perfect creative day. Where are you? What are you working on? And who are you with, if anyone?
I feel like this is the one that stresses me out. I feel like I'm like, I don't know how to answer that. It's my perfect creative day.
I'll go first then.
Yeah, take it.
I'm like, incredible. Let's walk it through.
Walk it through.
All right, I wake up. I have a smoothie cup for breakfast, or I go to Jamba Juice and I get a peanut butter mood. Okay? It's delicious. I'm alone for my creative stuff, but I have a TV show playing. and I am just brainstorming. I'm brainstorming up a storm. I have things that I'm working on, which a lot of the stuff for like coming up with content creation concepts just basically is like reflect on what you're doing. Like, what are you focused on? What problems are you facing? What do you have upcoming? Do you have an opportunity to vlog anything? Is there anything that happened that you learned something from? So that's just like the brainstorming process. And then I get settled in and I start filming some of the concepts that I have laid out for myself. And then I get to edit them and then I get to line them up. And in my perfect world, I do not struggle to come up with a caption, which
That's funny.
God, I hate a caption.
Biggest op.
So, exactly. And then I am finished doing all of the the work, all of the recording, all of the editing by like 3 or 4 p.m. That's my ideal. And then I wind down for the day. Maybe I take a bath. Maybe I do like a really in-depth skincare routine. And then I like settle in with my husband who has made dinner for us. And then we watch a TV show together and then I relax. And then when we're done watching our collective TV show, then we move on to parallel play. So he just goes onto his computer and does whatever it is that he does. And then I settle back in on the couch, probably put on a comfort show, probably Gilmore Girls. And then I continue to just like daydream and doodle in my journal or notebook whilst that happens. So that's my perfect creative day.
That's a perfect creative day.
I forgot. And we walk Lucy at some point in there, probably at 6 p.m.
This is another one of those ones that's really tricky for me because I don't have a routine and I'm so routine averse.
Maybe it's not routine based. Maybe it's like in your perfect world, do you have a free day and then like you hit a flow and like you're just in the mood to do poetry or I almost said draw, to like paint or work on your script and you like have a moment to yourself to like do self-care. Like what are the things that you wish you had time to do in a day? Like what makes your creativity sing? And you know, you don't have to be like, and it's guaranteed, but it's like, oh, in my perfect day, I hit a flow.
I think the thing for me though is like my perfect creative day is on set and in rehearsal. Like that's like work.
Ooh, yeah,
that's my perfect creative day is like for the non-actors out there. Like if you're in a play, there will be a few days near the end. Like once you've done a whole bunch of rehearsals and then you're about to like, your show's going to go up on stage and be performed to audiences in like a week or two. You'll have a tech day. And tech day is when they like panel out and they have experts come in and like create the lighting cues, how the stage is lit depending on what scene's going on, what lines have to be hit, the music cues, like what music's going to play at the beginning of house, and like what sounds need to be played to make the play really move the way it's meant to. And like that day will go from like noon to 8 p.m. Like, and I love a long day. Like with my co-stars, with other actors, like a lot of what acting is described as is waiting and just like being ready to like hop up when it's your moment to do. So like it's a lot of that waiting and like having that like being in that energetic space and kind of feeling that electricity. And also like while you're waiting, you work on your script. So it's those things that I had already said kind of where I was like getting to be in a creative space. Yeah, just like I love being on set. I love getting to be on stage and in a rehearsal and like having those moments where like there is still so much free time. Like, and if a poem that's part of my perfect day. Like I'm on set, I'm in my trailer, I've got poetry on the mind, like I've created a really good poem while I'm waiting, I'm staying really locked into like the artistic flow, I get to work on a scene, like I get a few rehearsals with a co-star, I come in on set, like everybody's having the best time, whether it's a comedic scene or a challenging artistic scene, like we're laughing, we're crying together. Or like, yeah, like a rehearsal for a play. Like I love, again, getting to figure things out with my fellow actors, like getting to be, I guess my perfect day would be either, if it's on stage, it's a rehearsal. It's less a performance and more a rehearsal for like a perfect creative day. Because like that's such a fun thing to do and to get to like discover and create with other creatives. And then like on set, like that rehearsal and that performance aspect is married, so like you don't really do rehearsals, you'll do a screen rehearsal for like a second before you take the take. But I think my perfect creative day is always like getting to be on stage or on set. And then like if I'm not, like I guess it's a separate thing, my like secondary perfect creative day would be like more writing inclined, is like if I'm really in a writing flow, like with my TV shows that I write, or if like poetry, like I'm really figuring out the solutions to that. So that would be like I wake up 2 hours before I want to get started with work, I read whichever like calming meditative book I'm reading at that time. I do my morning pages, so I journal. I take 2 hours to kind of move slowly into my day, and then I can sit at my desk with a hot coffee or a hot tea and kind of piece together whatever kind of writing thing I'm trying to do. And it's just fun. Like, it's just like flowing in the way it's meant to be flowing. And then, yeah. And then I get like kind of have like other people read it, give me their thoughts. I think a lot of my perfect creative day is collaboration. I'm realizing like an isolated creative day is that's not my perfect day. That's a day that's necessary, but it's not my perfect day.
Wow, I love how we're just so naturally different. And to be fair, my book was like, if you want to create, you got to be collaborative. Like, don't be in a cabin alone. I think for me, collaboration is important to be inspired.
Yeah.
But if I'm actually like going to be productive and do what I need to do, I'm gonna need to be alone. I'm gonna need to be left alone for that.
Yeah.
Is this next question the question for me? Me question? You, me. Yeah, number 4 is me.
It's me. I read it because you read the last
Is it?
one. Yeah. You
Me,
answered
you,
first.
me, you. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, you answered first this last
right.
one, but it's my turn to read. If you could instantly master one new creative skill, what would it be and why? Ooh, that's a fantastic question.
Ooh, it's an easy one at that. Editing.
Really?
Video editing, audio editing. I would love to instantly be good at that. If I had the, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Immediately. No questions asked. 1000%.
That one's an excellent
That's
one.
my blind spot.
Of course, again, we're so coming at this from two very separate angles because like yours is like a blind spot and mine is like totally different, unrelated skills. I'm stuck between, would you count learning a language as a creative skill?
Yes.
I'm stuck between learning new language or learning the drums. And I think I'm leaning drums because like I love
Why?
playing the drums. I loved it. I played them. Huh?
Does this have like a practical use of like, and I could be in a band?
No, that's the
or
thing.
Just like, that would be nifty.
No,
That'd be cool AF.
I'd be thrilled. It would feed my soul. It would feed my soul so much. It is something I've thought about ever since I played the drums through like elementary and middle school. Like I adore them. I adore, like it's why I like the VR game Beat Saber so much. Like I just love the physical component of like getting to be on rhythm, getting to hit the things when they're meant to be hit, getting to flow in an artistic way that's also active. And like, it's such a like mind body synergy thing. And I just like would love to be, or like maybe singing, like drums or singing, but like drums I think is the one. Cause I'm like, what a treat to just be able to master something that I don't necessarily have the time to do. Like singing, I'm going to have to put in the work anyway. Cause like I love singing. I love being in musicals. I love voice acting. Like that is something I'm happy that I get to learn how to do. Drums, that's just for funsies. If I'm given the opportunity to just master a new creative skill, why would I not do it for funsies? I think that's my thought.
See, for me, I went with video editing and audio editing. Just editing in general. Because I was like, honestly, that goes hand in hand with coding. Because like editing can be coding. And I was like, I would love to be an expert in coding. And that's a very marketable skill. Although I feel like if AI is going to take over one thing, it might be coding, actually.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm like, I'm going to have to do this thing anyway. I'd rather knock it out and be done with it. Yeah.
I just love
that. Yeah, I love how I was like, I'm going to have to do this anyways. And I really don't want to.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, an
And you were
opportunity
like,
to not have to
drums.
learn it.
You said drums, and I was like, God, that's so unpractical.
I know. And I was like, that's why I'm like.
I was like, and you live in an apartment. Where are you going to play drums at?
They
at your
have-
parents'
no.
house exclusively?
No, they have drum sets that are electric that play the drums in your headphones while you.
Oh, thank goodness,
While you go.
technology.
No, I know. It's dope.
I'm like such an old person. I'm like, where are you going to play them drums at?
No, and I love it. I literally think about drums and playing drums. If not every week, every other week. Ever since I played drums, which has now been
That's so
more than a
frequently I
decade.
think about drums. All right, next one. Okay. This one. Okay. How do you hope your work impacts others? In what ways would you like your work to help people?
I always want my work to make people feel less alone. That's been the number one blocking point for me with curating my poetry book, because like I've talked to Becca about this a whole bunch recently. It's like I truly have 350 poems that I've written over the last decade or so. But I think until I figured out the idea that would do good, I was like, I don't want to do, like, I don't want any of my work to do harm. Like, I don't see the point in like putting it out into the world. Like, I think about this with poetry a lot, because with acting, there are so many clear ways that I'm like, I want to make change in the ways that the platform that acting will give me. Like, acting is such like a fun thing where it's like, you're not always going to get to pick your roles, and like getting to play pretend for a living is such an amazing thing. But I think also like, I want to pick roles that are meaningful. I want to pick roles that help people feel seen, help people feel less alone, create kindness in this world. Like, that's always what I want to do. And like, especially with poetry, because poetry has written that line for me it's almost like writing in a journal. It's such raw emotion that I for so long was like, I know to be aligned with like my creative vision and who I am unwilling to publish these poems if all they're going to do is sow negativity. Like, I am so deeply unwilling. I don't care how good the poem is. If all it's going to bring into this world is darkness, like, they can stay with me. But yeah, I think the opportunity to make people feel less alone is something I really, really cherish. And so I think that is always how I want to help people with my creativity. I think that's this whole podcast too, actually. I think like it finally clicked for me when I was like, oh yeah, this makes sense. Like we have such a knack for breaking down big topics and making them digestible and making them feel like less like mountains and way more just like, oh yeah, this is just another step on the road. And like, I love in every facet of creativity getting to like spread that joy and that calm and that community.
I think for me, similar of like, I want people to feel seen from my content. Like, I started my page on TikTok because I wasn't seeing voices in the personal finance space with experiences like mine, and maybe my For You page was just letting me down, because I'll tell you what, I have found a couple over the last couple of years. But I was like, this stuff, like, personal finance is packaged to be so like, oh, obviously you use a credit card for everything. Like, obviously everyone does that, and if you're good with money, then you'll use that. And if you're not using credit card for everything, you're just leaving money on the table. And I was like, ugh, but I'm so bad at it.
It's like, I hate that.
I was like, but I can't, if I use it for everything, then I'm going to overspend on everything.
Yeah.
Even by a little bit. And if you're overspending on a credit card by a little bit, then like the rewards don't even matter, because you've already used them on the thing that you wouldn't have bought had you not been using a credit card.
Literally.
So I was like, you know what? I'm going to talk about my personal finance journey. And I started posting about this shopping ban challenge. Was like my first consistent series on TikTok, and it's where I got a lot of my followers from. My dog is shifting around in my lap, so sorry if there's background noise for that. I just talk a lot about personal finance for my specific brain, I guess, being like, hey, the interface for this app is dark, and I literally hate that, and there's no way to lighten it up. So unfortunately, I don't use this app. I don't know if the functionality is good. I don't like the interface.
Yeah.
And like, that's enough to stop me in my tracks. I'm like, this bank doesn't allow me to customize enough. So according to my standards, this is not a bank that I would use, because even though the APY is respectable compared to other banks, it just does not have the customization functionality that I require in order to make full use of my bank. So like, I have very specific criteria for what I'm looking for in places. I'm not the cutthroat, like, well, as long as the APY is the highest, that's what I'm using. No, I need like a lot more than that.
Yeah.
I need way more. And I like sharing those specific things with other people and being like, I know it sounds stupid. I know it does, but it is enough for me. It's enough for me to be like, we need to pivot. We need to adjust for this thing. And I feel like my page is a lot about problem solving too, of just being like, this is a problem I have with classic finances. Yeah. And I want to do the thing, so this is how I'm specifically going to go about it so that I am able to do it. And so it's like, it's a lot about education, niche education, and just being like, our brains think things sometimes. And instead of being like, wow, I can't stand the fact that I think of it this way, and I guess I'll never be able to do the things that I want to do, being like, all right, well, how can I tweak this to work for my brain? And you just trial and error it until you find what works. And it's okay to fail. and then you just start again, and it's fine. So I hope that my page is both educational, a bit inspirational, and yeah, that's it, and realistic.
I think you have such a knack for creating fun and making something, like breaking down walls in a topic that is not meant to be a topic of conversation. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like finance is such a scary, like, topic, and I feel like you are so good about, like, creating a relatable space. You make it fun. Like, that's what I was thinking about when you were talking about, like, the bank, like, not having, you can't make it lighter. Like, that's a real thought. Like, you do such a good job of, like, bringing big topics into, like, a personal level. Like, you make things feel like a safe space, I would say. So I think you do a really good job of that.
Thank you. I feel like every single person in my friend group has gotten way more comfortable talking about money.
Yeah.
Over the last years, because it's been my hyperfixation.
I agree with that. Okay, question 6. Describe the last time you felt truly excited about working on a creative idea.
I actually have 2 answers for this one. Because, like, I feel like everything with content creation, everything that I do creatively, I will only do it if I'm excited about it. Yeah. I lack discipline.
You do not lack discipline.
Like, oh, yesterday.
That's a crazy thing to say. But that's all right. That's a crazy thing to say, but continue.
I lack discipline in the sense of, like, you gotta have a posting plan, and this is the schedule you gotta be on. Because, like, if I'm not in the mood to film a video, you can tell in my face that I don't care about that video. But, okay, so the 2 big ones for me were when you were like, you know what, I think it is time we do a podcast. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, that's a good one. You're right.
Like that's, I think I was just like, I was so stoked to like get going on the podcast. Like, I'm so glad we picked it back up for season 2. Like, I'm so glad we've both been as committed to the podcast as each other. Incredible. Roses. And then for my content creation, I would say the last time I was like ecstatic, like super, super excited about a project to do was I got to do a brand deal with one of my all-time favorite banks that I've been using almost entirely for the last couple of years. I'm not going to name names, but you know who I mean, if you follow me on social media. And they wanted 3 videos from me, actually. And brand deals, at this point, I basically only accept a brand deal with a company that I'm already familiar with, that I've already used for something that I already like. Just because, like, why would you promote something that you don't find value in, I suppose.
Yeah.
But this one was so perfect. It already fit in with, like, series that I had going on my page. And so, like, the videos that I posted for that brand, like, it was just a perfect fit. It was a perfect, like, natural, organic, like, I was already using them for stuff, and I got to talk about how I liked using them. And there was a bit of a tug of war for one of the concepts, but I liked that too, because I got to stand my ground in some way, shape, or form. But yeah, that was probably the last time I was just like over the moon about a creative project.
I love that. I would agree about the podcast. I think like that's such a great point, because I think like anytime we think of an idea that's really fun, like I get really jazzed about it. Like I'm really excited about one of the ideas we had for an upcoming episode. I think like that's one of the more recent times I've been like, I'm really excited to like dig in to this one. And then I think this will be obvious to you because we just talked about it yesterday for like 3 hours straight. But I'm really excited about something that I'm currently working on. I don't know if I want to share it yet. I guess I'll pause for the 4th wall break. I have to decide if I want to talk about it or not.
It's one of those things because, like, if you have ADHD, you can only talk about something so much before you ruin it for yourself. And I don't know if that is a threshold that will apply to this, but it is one of those things where I'm like, and we've already mentioned it on the podcast.
Yes, I know. So like I'm super excited about something that I'm currently compiling. That didn't bury the lead too hard, but I think I can talk about this in the loosest terms, which is great because I woke up literally like 3 days ago and something clicked and the idea just made sense, and I was like, oh, I can write this, like I can figure this out, and like I'm really excited to like create a whole story. And yeah, I'm working on something publishable now, and I'm very, 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 very excited about it because it does feel like it's been like building for 10 years. And yeah, it was one of those moments where like I just had the right tools at the right moment to like excavate something. And so like I've been really, really locked in on that. So I'd say like that. our podcast, and then my TV show. Anytime I was really excited recently, I'd say those are my three most recent, is like working on my TV show. I had another moment where my brother gave me a fantastic note. I'm like on draft like 11 of the pilot of my TV show. And he gave me a fantastic note about being like, you're not delivering on the premise of your show. And then with that note in mind, I was able to I finally, the draft was the show. Like leading up to that, I knew what the show was, but the draft wasn't explaining that. And now it finally got to the point where my pilot, a pilot does not need to be perfect, but my pilot is my show. Like I can hand it to someone and be like, this is the show. And they'll totally get it. And it's funny and it makes me laugh. And I was writing in jokes where I was like, hee 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 hee. I was really jazzed about that. And then the things that I'm currently writing. And then, yeah, our podcast. I think those have all been really awesome. I've been very, very excited to be cultivating those things.
A lot of big projects, a lot of heavy lifts for you. A lot of these are endeavors, you know what I mean? I feel like with content creation, it's a lot of micro, gross stuff, a lot of short form, a lot of quick, and a lot.
Yeah.
Just a lot of things, doing a lot of things all the time, post a video every day. And so I'm I was inspired 4 times over the weekend to create a video. What's our measurement we're using?
I think mine, no, I think it's cool. I think it's cool that distinction is happening though. Cause I was literally just thinking about the fact so much of being an actor is not feeling in control of your career. And it's so exciting for me because acting is always at the forefront. Acting is absolutely the love of my life, but it's been really cool to be working on these projects that would put me in a slightly more in a seat of control where I am more in control of the stories I get to tell and the ways of course I'm writing my TV show with the intention of getting to act in it. And so it's nice to I think that's why it's so inspiring. It's either it's I feel oh, I just get to be creative and I don't have to fit into the idea of what someone needs to cast me because I'm amazing. But of course you have to be what the person pictures in their head. I'm writing this for me. I just get to be creative and get to be funny and get to feel that. Or with my writing, again, it's another one where it's this is just creativity beyond the confines of commodifying it. And I think that's when I get really excited about something. I think with our podcast too, it feels such a pure creative endeavor. And that's always when I get really jazzed about things.
I agree. All right, question number 7. What's a creative project you've always wanted to start but haven't? What's holding you back?
I think a week ago, I would have had an answer.
I think a year ago, I would have had an answer. No, I have an answer.
Yeah, I don't.
I've always got an answer for this one.
You got an answer? Take it. I'll think while you answer.
All right. My answer for this one is posting on YouTube, which I picked up last year. I tried to do it, and then it fell off. And you know why? Because it's labor intensive. Takes a lot of time. Takes a lot of effort.
Yeah.
And I got tired.
Yeah.
So I was never mind.
Yeah.
So, my problem solve for that is I might be paying someone I know to edit my long form content. And in that same vein is I want to do longer vlogs. So instead of just come with me to this place to do this thing, being like right now I'm doing that habit challenge. Actually, I put that down when I went on my work conference thing, and then I got sick for a week, and I'm just now looking at the jar, remembering this series that I started and have not finished, in fact. But the habit jar, where each habit in there, I'm supposed to be doing for a week or 2 weeks, depending on what it is. And I was originally intending to do a long form vlog of that, kind of inspired by that series called Lucy Tries with Lucy Fink. And I think she did it for Refinery or something like that. But it was a really fun thing where Lucy just tried to do things. And I was you know what? In the similar vein, that's what I intended to do with this thing. Being these are the habits I'm trying. Will they help me? Will I stick with it? Will I modify it? What am I going to do? Let's do a little longer form vlog. And again, it's just the level of effort is daunting to me. And I think that's why I haven't done it. But low-key, I just need to get over that.
No, you gave me that's a great answer because it actually made me think this is I think where we'll align the most actually is doing sketches and creating funny things for me and my friends to act in just for social media, because then I could do the thing, I could create my own roles, I can do it on a smaller scale. But I agree, I always have a really hard time when it feels like something should have immediate gratification or that I'm trying to play to an audience. I think it's hard for me to separate that with social media. I think that's always why it's been a tricky thing for me. And then also, like, the amount of work that goes into it, I think my brain gets frustrated at the fact that, like, these amazing creators are writing, acting, editing, and posting these sketches. They are doing so much work, and I just feel like it's unsung. I feel like it's hard for me, especially when, like, I'm like, these creators are doing such an amazing job, and they're doing, like, some of them are creating entire worlds and entire, like, TV show level stories in this short form. Like Coffee Shop, like Brooklyn Coffee Shop is a good example of, like, one of the sketches that I love, and they're amazing, and they just get better and better and better. And, like, Sabrina Breyer, like, they do so much work. And I think what's frustrating is, as an actor, people tell you just have to do that. Like, it's something that's easy. I don't know. I think I get a little annoyed. Like, I think I get resistant when someone acts like something is easy when it's not. When I'm like that, like, you're one, discrediting the amazing work that these other people are doing, and two, acting like being an actor and a writer isn't already a full-time job. Like, they're not just editing and acting and writing. They're filming. They're, like, running a film crew in a lot of senses. Like, there's a variety of levels, but, like, no matter what work they're doing, like Brooklyn Coffee Shop, full film crew, clearly, based on the quality of the footage. And then, like, Sabrina Breyer is, like, filming all the time. And then, like, you've got, like, Shauna the mom, who is another creator I love, plays, like, 10 different characters and has created so many different storylines for her content. Like, it is a whole job within itself. And so, like, I do think I love writing sketches. I love being funny with my friends. I do think it's something that I absolutely have wanted to do and could start doing. But I think, like, that's why I've been resistant to it, is I get a little pissy when people have unreasonable expectations of people. I think that's why.
The level of effort is not recognized.
Yeah, and it makes me pissed off.
And then it makes you also feel additionally irritated because so many people are putting in that level of effort, and you're like, ah.
Yes. It's the goalpost moving situation that pisses me off a lot. I'm like, we shouldn't have to kill ourselves to have a modicum of success in this career.
I think that's why when it comes to content specifically, I feel like the common thing that you always hear is, like, create stuff for yourself.
Yes.
Because you cannot put things out there being like, oh, this is gonna do numbers.
Blow up.
Because if it doesn't, you're gonna be like, what the hell? What the hell? And then it feels like public humiliation. Like, yes. you can't do it. You can't do it like that. You have to create for you. You have to create to tell the story that you want to tell to yourself.
Yeah.
And, like, I feel like one of my strengths is people can comment mean things. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, tee.
You gotta be popular to have haters.
The worst thing I don't like being misunderstood. Like, I don't like comments that are commented and I'm like, you just misunderstood the video. Those annoy me more than anything. Yeah. But if someone's just legit hating, I'm like, you don't get it. The girls who get it, get it. And they're who this video's for.
Yeah, and you're not one of the girls.
And then inevitably I go to their page and I'm like, you're following me. Like, what are you doing here? Go away. Like, what? Like,
being a hater takes a lot of work. You gotta commit.
Right? You have to be in tune with what is going on.
Yes, absolutely.
But I think that, like, again, you just gotta create to create, because even having 0 comments is, like, awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. No, this is fine. This is fine.
It's tough. It's a tough one. Social media feels so, like, everybody can touch you all the time. Like, it's a hard, like...
Yeah.
It's a hard space to fling yourself into if you're not doing something you like for you.
Right. Yeah. So that's always a thing with social media. But, yeah. Question number 8.
Let me see. What's a creative idea of yours that seemed too wild or ambitious to pursue? Do you still think about it? That's a tough question for us. Ooh. I feel like we really jump.
All the time, actually.
Really?
No, I have a never-ending list of ideas. I don't have enough time to do all the ideas. And then when I try and execute one of the ideas and I watch it back, I'm like, this looks garbage. This looks so bad. What was I thinking? And also the footage is blurry. And you're telling me I'm going to have to use one of the 2 cameras I bought specifically for content creation, but I have yet to use, because the idea of transferring the footage onto my computer to then edit just feels like way too much effort. And I would rather just edit it all in CapCut on my phone.
Yeah.
Like, I think my threshold, my tolerance for putting in effort is pretty low. And to be fair, I get a lot of DMs from people being like, do you need someone to edit? The answer is yeah. The answer is
Always.
yes, I do. I do need
100%.
someone to edit. But like, again, back with the long form vlogs. A long form vlog. And you want to know the dumbest thing I struggle with that gets in the way is how the hell do I connect any of my microphones to my camera? How do I do that? I can't connect any of them. Why are none of them syncing? What is this? Why isn't this
That's
working?
annoying. And
Pisses
technological
me off.
difficulties can kill a vibe so quick.
They really
quick.
kill a vibe. Pissing me off for real. But I would say like the creative idea of mine that is a culmination of all these things that I don't like and don't know how to do, and really just I like for real. I just need to like lock in. Is like back to YouTube. Same thing.
Yeah.
Same thing as question 7. Long form content. See, I'm telling you that if I could instantly know how to edit, I'd be golden.
Yeah, that's fair. I understand your choice. When you said editing, I was like, that's a practical skill. That would be beneficial to me as well. But I think I'm just like, drums. If I could just know.
I'm like, if I knew how to edit videos, my life would instantly become easier.
That is just true. That's a factual. People are like, the grass is always greener. No, that one's true. The grass is greener on the other side of knowing how to edit.
And the thing is, I know I'm going to get really good at editing. Yeah. I'm resisting it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I get that's being human. My therapist always tells me that being human is resisting things that you know would be good for you. That's the human struggle.
And I hear that, and then I go, right, but being human means being with the pack. And if I want to be ahead of the pack, I have to be better than the pack, which means I need to have more discipline than the pack, which means I have to learn to edit, even if I don't want to. And I'll tell you what, the pack that's running ahead of the pack, they all know how to edit.
I don't think it's an entirely fair statement to say being human is being with the pack. I think you're going to be a human even if you're ahead of the pack, babe. Like, I don't know. I don't think you're escaping that. Like, I think it's just happening no matter what. You look so sad about that.
Well, now I'm confused.
What are you confused about?
I'm lost. Go on. What's your creative thing?
I kept having one and then it kept going away. I have a few. I think a one that I felt like I was like, who am I to think I could do this? Is like, I do want to write a YA novel. Like I love, like, especially like in like the peak of like me working in the artist way. Like I was like, I would love to write a YA novel. Like I do think I have such a love for it. And again, my brother, he's such a good little like piece of it. He's an advice machine. He's a good little advice factory. It's like you have to write about the things that you like. And like I'm like, I love like YA novels. Like I love two high schoolers going through such universal, timeless struggles and like having like that pure connection and knowing that like time is fleeting. Like I love those are some of my favorite kinds of books, period. Is just being like, I oftentimes think that they're more mature than like just adult fiction. So like I do want to write a YA novel, and I do actually think about that still. I think what's interesting for me with like all of the creative ideas I'm going to list that seem too wild or too ambitious to pursue is that none of them are things I've given up on. I think it's similar, like all of my projects are things that I'm like, that is just going to like fall into place at the moment it's supposed to fall into place, is oftentimes how I think about it, where I'm like, if I really want to do something, it's something that like will happen. I think like my TV show is another one where I was like, I always knew I was going to write a TV show, and it like just kind of fell into place when it was meant to. And then another one that I think is like deeply ambitious is I really, really intend on adapting a sci-fi trilogy to be a TV show. Like I'm fully intending on adapting 3 fat ass books into a sci-fi television show and writing those screenplays. And that, like, I have no idea how to adapt a novel into a screenplay. I've never written sci-fi. But I know in my core it's something I want to do. Like, and I also know that like I don't need it to be successful. I think it'd be such an amazing learning process, like learning how to adapt that. Like even writing the pilot, because like I would want it to be like a 60-minute like sci-fi like dramedy kind of thing, like dramedy in the way that The Bear is a dramedy, where it's clearly a drama where someone makes a joke occasionally. Like that one is another one where like I do, like I've had these 2 ideas for a year or two plus, and I just think about them regularly, and I'm like, the time will come.
You know what? I feel like you have such exceptional creative stamina.
Oh.
Like, you have such grit and stamina when it comes to things like this, because, like, any of the things that you listed, I'm like, too involved. Too involved, too much, too big, and all of it's huge. Like, every single thing that you listed is like gigantic. Like, holy moly, guacamole. I'm like, oh my god, making a 20-minute YouTube video is gonna kill me, I think. Like, you're out here like, I'm gonna write a sci-fi series, and then I'm gonna make that series into a screenplay, and I'm gonna make that screenplay into a TV show or movie series, and then you know what else I'm gonna do? I'm gonna draw the moon and the stars and the earth and turn it into a painting, and then draw a poem from that painting, and then make the painting into a mountain. Like, I'm like, what is happening? How we got all these, like, holy moly. Like the moment your mental health is just like rocked and rolled, oh my god, you're gonna be like the most famous person in the world. They'll be like, she does it all, and she can play the drums.
And she can play the drums.
Like, it's crazy. And I'm gonna be over here like, how do I get this onto my phone? Like, what?
No.
Why isn't it focusing?
I think though, we are so very much two ends of like the Pisces spectrum. Is like, I need the I am so inspired often by your ability to build the car while you're driving it. I think that's something that blocks me so often, where like it's always a mountain. It's always trying to eat the elephant in one bite. And so like these big things, like, it's taken a lot of work for me to be like, I think the time will come and it will become a bite by bite thing. And if I try and jump in too soon, I'm not going to be able to accomplish it because it's just going to be too overwhelming.
Ooh. And you know what else I think is a superpower of yours is the ability to not quantify the outcome of the things that you are pursuing. Because like, if I had all these ideas, I'd be like, all right, I will do these as soon as possible. Like, that's how I feel about everything, is I'm like, I'm going to do all this as soon as possible so that I can monetarily benefit from it while I'm young. And you're like, I might be 80 cranking out my third sci-fi novel, and at 90 we'll be putting out the movie. And I'm like, and where do you benefit from the money in that situation?
I think I could really benefit from having a middle ground in that, I would say.
I'm like, you'll be on your deathbed. You're like, whoa.
I'll be creatively rich, not financially rich. I think that's why I have to not care about the outcome so much. And I think that like it's been like, I don't know if it's been a trial by fire situation. I think it's just something like I learned, and I think it's really interesting because I hated patience as a virtue my whole life. And similar to how I hated my period when I first got it, those two have really flipped for me. Like, I can really sit into being patient and being like, the chips are going to fall where they're meant to fall as long as I'm doing all the work.
I thought you were going to say, I could really sit into my period.
I do. I love my period. So I could also sit into my period, but that'd be a crazy sentence syntactically. Like, that just doesn't make sense.
I was like, right, so we're pad users.
We sit into our period. So,
anyways, I'm assuming... You know, I was going to say I'm assuming a lot of our listeners are women, but I'm not sure that's actually, I'm not sure that it's not.
We got a lot of men.
Balanced as I think.
No, we actually
I think
know a lot
of
of men that listen to this.
Actually. Yeah, I was like, I can name half of our listeners.
And they're like men.
Yeah, and they're men. Yeah.
Oh no, are we targeting a male audience?
That.
Interesting. No, I think it's I've really learned to sit into being patient with something, and I think that has been trial by fire. I think that's something you learn as an actor, like, unless you're incredibly lucky, is that like you have to keep at a very intense pace for a very long time and be okay with that. And like, you have to also be okay with the fact that your creativity is valuable whether or not it has a monetary outcome. And that's something like I think that has helped with wanting to just learn how to adapt a sci-fi novel into a screenplay. I don't know if that anything will ever come from that. That feels like a crazy thing to do, but I think luckily my poetry has always been something that I have written for no forward-moving monetary success or like creative acclaim ever. And that has been a good sounding board for me, where I'm like, I feel so incredibly inspired and creatively fulfilled writing my poetry that I think luckily between the trial by fire with acting and that just having to be a slower process, and then having the sounding board of poetry to be like, you can just be creatively valuable without it being a public thing. I think that led to that.
I think patience is what I'm learning. I think patience is what I'm learning in my early 30s. I have been like go for the past decade. And now I think I do want to lean into creativity. It's so hard. It's so hard for me to not immediately quantify things upon doing them. But like, I think that leaning into the cozy side of creativity is one of my goals. And you know what? It is really hard because if you're doing content creation, you can make anything into content.
Yes.
Anything.
That's a blurred line.
And the cozy things are becoming more productive. Like, it's just, it's such a, there's like, how do you do the things, not share them, but like want to share them? But if you share them because you want to share them, they can be monetized. Like, it's such a finger trap. Like,
it is.
You don't even know. So I'm gonna bench that thought because I could feel it leading to a spiral.
Fair.
But patience is like, that's the thing I'm learning. And you know what?
Yeah.
Here's how I end that one on an upper. I know that for content creation, like, this is going to be a long game thing for me. Like, I see this being a lasting thing that I just do for a long time. Mm-hmm. So I am not too broken up about, like, if the algorithm hates my videos. Like,
yeah. No, I love that.
Right now specifically, you pay attention to the like to viewer ratio. None of that matters. I don't understand the algorithm. My videos have stayed mostly the same all this time. Sure, I've changed a few things, trying to improve some editing things. But, like, I'm not hung up about it because preferences change on a dime constantly, all the time. So I've just settled into, like, I am just going to continue making the videos that I like and I would like to watch. And learning, obviously, but I'm not going to try and chase something that I'll never catch.
No, I love that. That's excellent.
Patience.
In the name of patience, I sure didn't expect 8 questions being halfway through to take quite this long. So I think we should make this a 2-part mini side note.
Yeah. Just so you guys know, for the raw recording, right now we're at an hour and 20 minutes, which, you know, hopefully by the time this mini episode is published, it is not an hour and 20 minutes.
It's going to be pretty close.
I think we'll at least shave down 3 minutes off that.
Yeah, so it'll be an hour and 17 minutes.
So whatever month this is published in, you're getting 3 full episodes, 2 mini episodes. 2 of them will be disguised as mini episodes, 2 long ones.
So you're welcome, I suppose. But we'll see you next week with the second half.
Yeah, with the second half of these questions. Ponder them. Look into this book once again. It's called How Great Ideas Happen by George Newman. It's new. It just came out this year. I'm really enjoying it.
And with that, I think we can jump into our shameless plugs. You can find me on Instagram at IamEmmaBruno2. That's T-O-O. And on TikTok at IamEmmaBruno.
And you can find me on Instagram at r.sowden.money. And then you can find me on TikTok and YouTube at rebecca.sowden.
You can find our podcast on Instagram at Life in Quarters Pod.
And you can listen to this podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. For example, where are you listening to this podcast right now?
Magic.